What's going on, everybody? Hope you're all having a great morning, day, or night, wherever you are in the world. We've got some interesting and funny news today. Fox News brings us this exciting bit. Let me pull it up here. Fortnite and the collapse of parenting. This was an opinion page Fox News put up. It's written by MD and PhD Leonard Sachs. So let's get into this exciting bit. There is nothing more irresponsible than a boy on a video game binge. First line. How great is that? Nothing more irresponsible than a boy on a video game binge. There's too much wrong with that. That's too easy to call out. Let's continue. The call came shortly after 6 a.m. Jason was refusing to get out of bed, so his mom called 911. Deputy Damian White of the Harris County Sheriff Office responded to the call. "Are you serious?" I later asked Mr. White. "You responded to a 911 call about a boy who wouldn't get out of bed?" "It's our policy to respond to every 911 call regardless," Mr. White told me. Deputy White arrived at the home and went into the boy's bedroom. He told the boy to get up, get dressed, and go to school. The boy refused. He said that he had been playing his video game until 3 a.m. He was tired. "Not going to school today," he mumbled. "Son, I'm not asking you to go to school," Deputy White said. "I'm telling you. Now quit wasting my time. Get out of bed and get dressed." The boy obeyed, and Deputy White drove the boy to the high school. Now that just sounds extremely unrealistic. Maybe if they live in a small town or something, possibly. But I don't buy it. And the mother isn't there anymore and the boy just walks in? Because that's the only way I could see the sheriff having to be the one to drive the boy to school? I'm not sure. Seems pretty far-fetched in my opinion, but there you go. When I speak to parents groups about kids who are addicted to Fortnite and other video games, I tell them it is a parent's job to limit, govern, and guide their kids' use of video games, to help their kids develop good habits instead of bad habits. One response I often hear from parents is, "Shouldn't I give my son the freedom to make mistakes? It's not like he's going to be driving while intoxicated. It's just a video game." I think good parenting means letting kids decide. That's just bad parenting. Kids need rules, even if they're base rules. That's horrible. That sounds stupid, again far-fetched, just unbelievable. Does good parenting mean letting kids decide? Sometimes yes, sometimes no. If your kid is invited to 2 different parties this Saturday, it's reasonable to let your kid decide which party to attend. Now, if I asked my parents if I could go to a party when I was in school, I'm fairly certain they would have told me absolutely not. Who lets their kids go to parties? Unless it's a birthday party or something. Come on. That's just, again, whew. But if your 12-year-old wants to drink a vodka tonic or two just to see what it feels like, that's not such a great idea. Alcohol is toxic and can be addictive. The younger the child, the greater the risk. For 12-year-olds, the risks of drinking alcohol clearly outweigh the benefits. You tell your kid no vodka tonics for you. It gets better and better as you go. Is playing Fortnite more like being invited to a party or drinking vodka? There is growing evidence that online video games can be addictive. Fortnite may be the most addictive of them all. It is currently the most popular video game in the world, with more than 200 million active users. If you've never played Fortnite, here's one way to understand the game. It's Minecraft meets Hunger Games. That is a horrid description of it. That is not making anybody understand. Holy crap, that is insane. Minecraft meets the Hunger Games. That's just an ignorant response. Absolutely ignorant. Wow. By throwing in the Hunger Games part, I think he's attempting to make parents bias against it, or a further attempt, I should say, to make parents bias against it. It could sound evil and, oh my goodness, I can't believe that. You're on an island. Your job is to kill everybody else. You build defenses out of various materials which you must acquire. You have to find weapons and ammunition for those weapons and use those weapons skillfully. I don't know, I've played Fortnite. I've seen a lot of people play it on different streams and everything. You don't use those weapons skillfully necessarily, but that's besides the point, I guess. At the end of the game, there will be only one victor, or one victorious duo or squad, depending on your game mode. A round typically takes about 20 minutes from start to finish. The more you play, the more skillful you become. If you work hard enough and put in enough hours, you will win. Eventually. Again, a load of crap to make parents more biased against it. He's using his wording in such a context that he's just trying to convince people at this point. It's ridiculous. Turn everybody against it and get all the parents to ban their kids from playing it to get your agenda accomplished, basically. Because if you put time into anything, you could be a basket weaver, you could be somebody that homebrews beer, you could be somebody that likes to do math for fun. The more time you put into anything, any video game as well, the better you typically become. So, these people frustrate me. Each game begins with 100 combatants. The first time Brett played, there were about 80 other combatants remaining when he was killed. That's actually pretty good compared to what the hell I did. So, great job, Brett. After he put in another 20 hours at the game, he was killed with just 10 people remaining. Again, that's very impressive. Great job again, because you still got me beat with that time frame. After another 100 hours at the game, 6 weeks later, Brett achieved his first victory. He was the last man standing. There is nothing like getting your first W win. It's the greatest feeling in the world, Brett told me. The World Health Organization, who recently created a new diagnosis of gaming disorder in recognition of the growing number of people, mostly boys and young men, who have difficulty exerting control over the amount of time they spend playing video games, so much so that gaming takes precedence over other interests and daily activities. Now, that's a load of crap. Great, they made a disorder for it. Woohoo. All it is lack of self-control on the kid's behalf, and probably more so lack of parenting ability or lack of discipline when the kid isn't listening on the parent's behalf. I don't think it should be a disorder. Most kids like playing video games. Most of us that are watching this play video games. I play video games almost daily. There's nothing wrong with it. The agenda of this article is just so clear. Leonard Sachs, we know your opinion. In a recent survey of American teens, 27% of teens admitted playing Fortnite in the classroom. That proportion is likely higher for boys than for girls. Boys and young men playing Fortnite outnumber girls and young women roughly 2-1. Among devoted gamers, those playing more than 20 hours a week, the boy-to-girl ratio is even higher. Well, if the majority of people playing are boys, then it would stand to reason that the ratio would stay on that track. Whatever. Carol Ann Eastman was teaching freshman English in Summerville, South Carolina. A 14-year-old boy was playing Fortnite on his phone. She asked him to put the phone away. He said, "Hold on, I'm right in the middle of a kill." Are you kidding me? Where do I start on this one? First of all, if the boy tells the teacher, "Hold on," or "no," or anything like that, any teacher in their right mind would take the phone away and say, "You can get this back after school," or "You can get this back after class." One of those things. Or go to the office, or you're getting detention, you're getting suspension, you're getting something. There's some form of discipline, not just, "Are you kidding me?" And the line, "Hold on, I'm right in the middle of a kill." That seems absolutely bogus again. I'm in the middle of a kill. Most of those things in that game, I'm sure there's instances where it's drawn out. Don't get me wrong. But most of them, especially if the kid's playing on a mobile phone, where you usually don't do as well as if you're on a PC or a console, you're probably not in the middle of a kill. You're probably 2 seconds and the person's dead, or 2 seconds and you're dead. Most likely. Continuing though. Does Fortnite take precedence over other activities in your son's life? Back in ancient times, say 10 years ago, ha 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 ha, most boys would rather spend time with their girlfriends than killing imaginary enemies in a video game. Not anymore. Adam White, who teaches high school in Nova Scotia, recently told me about a posse of 12th grade girls who complained they had lost their boyfriends to Fortnite. Okay, another term used to make it sound derogatory, being posse, even though it's about the girls who lost their boyfriends. When you say posse, it usually gets a negative view towards it. It sounds like almost along the lines of gang or something like that. So, again, trying to spin it in that direction. But, okay. Sorry, girls. The guy wasn't for you. If the person that you're dating is into other hobbies than you, and it's to the point that you're unhappy with that person, then that person probably isn't for you. It'll break your little 12th grade hearts, I'm sure. Until next month when you find a new boyfriend or girlfriend. And maybe they'll have closer to your own interests. And then maybe that boy that likes to play video games can find somebody that plays video games as well to date. And that boy can date that person and play games together and have a great time. It's the way of the world. If your son is more interested in playing Fortnite than in spending time with his girl, that's a problem. Well, first of all, you keep implying that the boy is dating a girl, or this is 2019 now, buddy. The boy could be dating a boy, the boy could be dating a girl could be dating a girl, but for the sake of noun play, I'll leave it alone now. If your son is more interested in scoring another kill than in joining the family for supper, that's not good. If your son is staying up past midnight trying to score a Fortnite W, it may be time to uninstall the game. Okay. In the previous paragraph, he said the back in ancient times, 10 years ago thing. 10 years ago, I was I was about 20, so even further than 10 years ago, I still played games in my teenage years. I didn't want to have a family dinner because I wanted to be with my friends. I wanted to play games still. I wanted to get the W probably on Halo or Gears of War or whatever the game may have been back then. That's not the point. I still wanted to get a W. I still wanted to win. I still wanted to play. That's what kids think about a lot of times. There's exceptions to that rule too. Yes, there's kids that take studies very seriously, but a lot of kids take playtime more seriously. A lot of kids do. I was one of them. It's not the end of the world, but you need to have discipline as a parent and monitor their game time and things like that. You can't just, nope, this is a horrible game. We have to uninstall it. If it came to something like that, I would have played the game without my parents knowing. I would have done what I had to do what I wanted. And a lot of kids are like that. They will find a way. So just regulate it. Don't take it away entirely. That's how kids rebel. Regulate. Monitor, regulate, be a parent. Be brave. Do your job. Set limits. And if necessary, uninstall the game. I'll agree with the be brave, do your job, and set limits part. Which will also require you to deploy a parental monitoring app to prevent unauthorized reinstallation. Again, don't uninstall it. You're going to cause more headaches for yourself, and your kids are probably more knowledgeable these days with the technology than you are, and they'll probably find a way around it. And if not, they'll go somewhere or to a friend's house or a store where they might be able to have a demo up. They'll do anything. You don't want that headache. That causes more headache than it's worth. Olivia Pelka banned Fortnite after she realized that the game was taking over her son's brain. Really? It was taking over his brain. She told me after a couple of weeks, Fortnite free, I noticed my son was calmer, happier, slept better, and was not avoiding activities with friends and family as he was during his Fortnite life. Again, he's probably going to a friend's house to play it, or playing it on his phone if he found a way around that. And if he isn't playing it, I can see where he's getting better sleep, sure. Absolutely. I get better sleep when I don't get off work and play a video game too. Is the kid probably hating you right now and looking for any way he can get back at you? Yes, I would imagine so. I know I would have. You just can't let it take your kid's life over, as she put it. You have to step in before that. You have to set the ground rules before it gets to that point. Don't be intimidated. You can do this. It's your job. If you don't do it, who will? Oi. Again, that's Leonard Sachs, MD, PhD. Down below, I will have a link to this article, as well as a link to Leonard Sachs's website for anybody that wants to check him out more. I will also have a link to my Twitch and Patreon. I'd really love it if everybody could stop by and check those out. Drop follows, drop likes, share it around. And on this video, please do like and subscribe if you liked it. Dislike it if you disliked it. Also, please, if you subscribe, hit the notification bell. And any comments, liking it or disliking it down below, I will try to respond to everybody. But for now, thank you, and until next time, peace.